Okay, so this one's going to be one that I think a lot of people are going to expect to go one way or expect me to go a certain direction, and I think you're going to be surprised, so make sure you stay tuned right here on Roll Coverage. Let's go.
Hey, I thought it was all over.
Nope. They roll coverage.
Okay, we come to this interesting point as Carolina Panthers fans, or as fans of the NFL in general, where the Carolina Panthers might soon be looking at a crossroads. Of course, I'm talking about Bryce Young, but it may not be in the way that you're thinking. CJ Stroud and Bryce Young will be inextricably tied together for the rest of their careers, regardless of what they want to do. They were picked in the same draft, 1 and 2.
With the first pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Bryce Young, quarterback, Alabama. With the second pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select CJ Stroud, quarterback, Ohio State.
Wow.
They were the flip-flop 1 and 2. The Carolina Panthers originally just wanted to go to 2 and get Stroud and let the Texans take Bryce at 1, but instead decided to go up to 1 to get Bryce Young through the vote and veto, essentially, of David Tepper over the coaching staff of McCown, Staley, and Reich that wanted Stroud. We again heard the audio clip of, "We're going to find you a court here in Carolina." So, when the Carolina Panthers decide to take Bryce, we have set the path moving forwards, and at the end of the 2023 campaign, we saw CJ Stroud end up with the youngest rookie to win a playoff game ever. 22 days, or 22 years and some change. Absolutely crazy, and because of that, again, they will be tied together. We're now getting ready to move into the 2024 season, though. And rather than the Carolina Panthers preparing to win a playoff game or two, the Carolina Panthers are finally committed to a full rebuild with some amazing pieces. Those should be on screen, boom, right now. So, we have the opportunity. We have Xavier coming in. We have Jonathan Brooks. We have Trevin, Jatavian. We've got a lot of people coming in to help out Bryce in the second year of the campaign. Of course, we have people from the previous regime, including J.C. Horn, who is playing on his fifth-year option. On the other hand, C.J. Stroud is sitting with the Texans, and they are preparing for a Super Bowl run. They acquired Stephon Diggs. They acquired Joe Mixon. That's a complete opposite of where the Panthers are. The Texans are on the summit of the mountain. They are about to get to the top. They are right there. And this year, again, CJ Stroud is going to be compared to Bryce Young. If CJ Stroud ends up north of 4,000 yards and Bryce is in the 3,800, people will go back to that and say, oh, the Panthers got fleeced again. It's going to be the same thing moving forwards. If it's flipped, though, if Bryce is able to come out there one year and throw 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns, and CJ Stroud happens to have a slump year that year, that will be the year where Carolina Panthers fans bring their receipts to try and justify the Bryce Young pick over CJ Stroud. But like I said, it will always be a competition with Stroud. We go to see games this year. If we see a game where CJ Stroud throws 197 yards, and last year Bryce threw, say, 300. Say for example, the Texans play the Packers, and again, Stroud throws 240 yards. Carolina Panthers fans are going to be like, well, Bryce threw 300 in his game. Ignoring the circumstances of the season last year and the injuries and all that other stuff. So like I said, regardless of how I want it, regardless of how they want it, the fans themselves are going to put this caveat in there. They're going to constantly bring back up Bryce where CJ is and CJ where Bryce is. Now, obviously, I am a little bit guilty of that as well. I personally really like Stroud coming out of college. I thought Fields, with Chicago hopefully finally committing to Fields, would be the first Ohio State quarterbacks to really break the curse, kind of like how the Alabama quarterbacks were for years. I don't know if you guys remember when A.J. McCarron came out, where people were just like, man, if you're taking A.J. McCarron, you're going to lose because you never pick an Alabama quarterback. Yet now we look at Mac Jones, Tua, Bryce, and Jalen Hurts. So there's obviously a little bit of a change there. And the same thing with Ohio State quarterbacks. We had guys, R.I.P., kid from Washington whose name is escaping me. I'm going to put it on screen now. That ended up passing away. Hay was an Ohio State quarterback. And there's also been a few others over the years. It just never really happened. That was always the stigma. Ohio State quarterbacks are not going to translate into the NFL. Yet Stroud comes onto the scene, perfect height, weight, build, got a great arm, able to deliver the ball in places that he needs to be, while also being incredibly mobile, while not focusing on that, of course. So with that, we change the narrative of Ohio State. We go away from the Ohio State quarterbacks can't be good quarterbacks in the NFL to he could be a top 5 or top 10, maybe top 5 quarterback in a year or two. He's already putting himself in the top 5. I wouldn't maybe go that far. There's obviously a lot of people ahead of him, but he's able to win a playoff game in his rookie year. I mean, if he comes out this year and they win another playoff game or two, end up in the championship game or something, we've got something here. Like, this is Stroud may be cooking with fire here. So I think people need to get ready for that. But also, we always hear about the sophomore slump. So are we expecting Bryce to slump more? No, he did a slump year his first year. So I expect this not to be a slump year. I expect this to be a jump year for him. This might be a slump year for Stroud, which could end up bringing out those Panthers fans to be like, hey, man, see, we made the right decision. Our guy is in the right trajectory. He's going forwards, ignoring what happened last year when Stroud won a playoff game.
And then there's C.J. Stroud, rookie defensive head coach, rookie offensive coordinator, weird owner, below average roster. He's not talented enough to overcome that.
So, again, I don't know of any way to really say this other than that they're tied together. I don't care what anybody says. You could say that Bryce is the savior. I could say that Stroud is the savior. It doesn't really matter. He's not on my Carolina Panthers team. He's on the Houston Texans, getting ready to take that crazy receiving core and Joe Mixon, who I love, and again, go on a Super Bowl run. I do, again, expect them to win that playoff game, but I could see some other crazy stuff happening. Shoot, man, maybe Bryce Young goes out there and wins a playoff game. I will lose my mind. But I want to know your thoughts. Do you really think that they're tied together? Do you think this is ever something that they can both be successful quarterbacks and kind of go their own way without being compared to each other? I think more of a Matt Stafford and Kirk Cousins, kind of around at the same time, really good at what they did, but never really got over the hump until they were able to move to a different situation. So obviously Kirk hasn't gotten over the hump and gotten the Super Bowl, but you know what I mean with Stafford. So yeah, just tell me your thoughts. Where do you see the Texans finishing this year? Where do you see the Panthers finishing? I see my Panthers in about third, and I see the Texans probably first in that division, especially if Anthony Richardson is hurt. So with that, my name is Nick. This has been Roll Coverage. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, do all the stuff. You know what to do. And otherwise, just have a great day. Peace.